Now, one time this wheel spun up Tilda Swinton, but she wasn't even on the wheel to begin with. Tonight, on About Tonight, comedians Nellie White, Lauren Bock, and Adam Knox, illusionist Alex De La Rambelje, and photographer Emma Matsuda, with your host, Martin Dunlop.
Hello everyone, hello, thank you for watching me, thanks for watching the show. Welcome to About Tonight. I heard one of the worst noises the other day. There's a lot of horrible noises that you can hear. The sound of a door locking behind you. It's never a pleasant noise. The sentence "I'm sorry, it's malignant." That's also not a very pleasant sound. The opening theme to MasterChef is one of my least favourite noises. It means you're about to be almost aggressively bored for the next hour. It's a very strange thing. But the noise that I heard the other day, my least favourite noise, was I was at work and a girl turned to me and she said, "I heard a rumour about you." Which is awful. I mean, that's always a terrible thing to have happen to you, because there's a number of things in your life that you are very embarrassed and ashamed about and that you think are awful, but a rumor isn't even constrained by that. So like if somebody says, you know, "I heard a rumor about you," and you say, "Oh, is it that I once cheated on one of my girlfriends and then she found out because I sent a text to the wrong girl?" Then the other person's like, no, I heard you hit someone with your car and then just drove off. You know, you're like, well, I didn't do that. You know. But anyway, I understand that this might not be relatable to everybody. Some people, if somebody says that there's a rumor about them, they're not necessarily that upset because they're like, well, there's nothing, I've never done anything that bad. I've really got nothing to be ashamed about. And while I understand that there are people like this, you do understand that that's what a horrible person thinks, right? Like if you were to ask a serial killer, do you have any regrets? Then they're probably going to say, well, you know, not particularly. I suppose I'll be a bit more careful with my DNA next time. But otherwise, I feel I've done the best with what I had. Yeah, it's really, really quite good. The other day, I found a bunch of writing from back when I was 15 years old. This was a very upsetting thing. It's always horrible to find that sort of thing. Very depressing, very harrowing, and also very boring for anyone you talk to about it generally. I mean, I don't think you guys need me to really dissect what I meant by the 500-word essay that begins with the word, "So what if I am gay?" But one of the things I remember about myself as a kid back then is that I used to fantasize a lot about saving girls that I liked from attackers. I remember that I used to write about this, and I've always thought about it, and I always figured that this meant that I had a very romantic idea of masculinity back then, a sort of Errol Flynn idea that I had to behave like this. But finding this writing, I've actually discovered that these fantasies have a lot less to do with me wanting to impress girls I liked and more to do with my desire to pretty much kill a guy and get away with it. The reason for this is I was rereading the stories, and the girls in it are described quite perfunctory, like they're basically given a name and a hair color, and that's pretty much it. But the violence is vivid and colorful. Like, the violence is quite... Like, in one of the stories, there's a girl being threatened by a junkie with a needle full of infected blood, and I'd take the needle off of him, jab it into his eye, and then stamp on it. Now, I don't know how much I knew about girls back then, but I hope I at least knew that after a girl sees something like that, she's not exactly gagging for it. Like... That's quite horrible. But I will tell you, like, I've figured out, like, back then, this is my ideal romantic scenario back when I was 15 years old, it appears, would be like a girl that I know is walking down a dark alleyway at night, and then a figure looms out of the darkness to attack her, and then I charge down the alleyway with a metal stick, and I hit him in the head. and he falls down. And then I hit him a couple more times. Then I hit him a couple more times, and blood starts running out of his ear and pooling in the gutter. And the girl says, "Wow, Martin, you're really good at hitting people with that metal stick. Do you want to go and see Blade 2 at Northland Cinemas at 9:30 on Saturday?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. Why don't we go and do that?" And then the girl would be like, "Cool, that'd be great. Do you want to walk out of this alleyway with me?" I'd be like, "No. You go on ahead. I'm not done here." Welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome to the show. It's great to be here. Just before we begin, there has been a slight scheduling mix-up. So I wasn't supposed to be here. It's supposed to be Kate Sobrano this week, but I've sort of cross-scheduled with my my doctor's appointment. So my first guest, just to do a quick check-up on me, is my doctor. Please, everyone, give it up for Dr. French Stewart. Woo!
Please don't. Hello, Martin. Mr. Dunlop, I should call you in. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm as well as can be expected. Little vomity, but that's perfectly normal. I think nervous about today. Really?
Wow.
So,
if you felt you were nervous, does that have a seatbelt?
No.
You can literally strap on into a seatbelt.
No, I'm fine. If we could just get the stuff out of the way so we can get the show moving. So.
I feel I have to. I'm not sure if you want to do this on television.
No, we'll just roll through it, and then we've got some people coming up. We've got Nellie White coming in. I like
right.
her.
Well, it's okay. I'm not quite sure how to tell you this with cameras pointed at us, but
it can't be that bad. We'll just get it on. There are no secrets from me.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. It's malignant.
Oh, like the joke at the start of the
No,
show.
It's not a joke. No, it's the cancer that you actually have is a malignant cancer, and it's virtually everywhere in your entire body. Medically, you should be a puddle at the moment. You should not be corporeal. Pretty much, it's.
You're fucking with me.
I'm not. No, I'm a doctor, and you called me in here, so.
No, look, it's very funny. It's nice you've gotten into the spirit of the show. That's cool. Do you want me to just run with it? Oh no, cancer.
Martin, I'd just have a look at that. I'm not.
That's
sure
just numbers. That's.
Yes. You're not a doctor, so I will tell you what the numbers mean.
That's
you see that large number with 5 digits there? That's the amount of cancer you have. We don't usually measure it in that number. It usually goes between 1 and 9.
You're not like.
But you've got a 5-digit number.
You're not like the best doctor, though, are you? I mean, you're a good doctor. I don't mean
I could be the world's.
I guess, but you are.
Quite honestly, I could be an awful doctor, which I'm not. I'm decent, but I could be a layman and detect the amount of cancer that you have. Dogs are probably barking outside.
Look,
cancer that's swimming around your body at the
I
moment.
I see what you're trying to do here, but I feel like
Honestly,
Breaking Bad
Martin,
has already done cancer, and it's look.
This has nothing to do with the television show. I would rather not be here, and I'd rather you didn't have cancer, to be perfectly honest. But that's the case. I'm sorry to tell you in this way. If you have anyone you'd like to call.
Well, I suppose what you've really come out here to say is I need to start taking better care of my health, and
you really don't have time to take better care of your health. It's too late. You've got around 45 minutes left, I would guess. 53 with ads. It's not a huge amount of time.
Well, you're wrong, but just one last question before you head off, and I make another appointment. Do you believe in God?
To make the transition slightly easier for you, I'm going to say yes.
Yes, excellent. Yes,
but the answer is no.
Yes, and everyone will be right back after this.
You're going to die. I apologize.
Yeah, welcome back to About Tonight. Sorry, my doctor was in earlier and he's told me some news that was frankly private and nobody else's business, and just Just awful. Anyway, look, that doesn't matter. We've got a very special guest coming in to perform some comedy for you. Please put your hands together for my wonderful friend and an excellent Melbourne comedian, Miss Nellie White. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be here. I love being in Melbourne. I love living in Melbourne. I'm from Melbourne originally, but it's always good to come back after a bit of travel and notice how beautiful it is, except for that one area around Flinders Street Station, which is just dog shit for no reason. Like, it's the centre of Melbourne and it's just horrible. It's just bong shops and KFCs. And I don't know why that they've just completely taken that bit and not cared about it. I know if they changed it, like if they made like the bong shop a smiggle, I would miss it, because I don't want a rubber in the shape of a bear. I want a bong in the shape of Lisa Simpson that says something that Bart Simpson would say. Swanston Street is also quite bad. It's quite risky walking down Swanston Street. I was walking down Swanston Street to get here, and this weird homeless man came up to me and told me that I was the most beautiful woman in the world. So now I have to go back and guard him and make sure he doesn't say it to anybody else, because that's my title now. And he seems pretty unstable. Like he might say it to just anybody. So I've got to go back there right after this. I don't have anything to do, so I won't do it forever. I'll just do it until I become so comfortable living on the streets that I start dancing in front of buskers. You know those people? The why is everybody so uptight people is what they seem to say. I was walking down Swanston Street the other day and I saw one of the break dancers kick himself in the nuts. And I was already having a good day. Didn't even need it. It was already good times. It was so weird because I don't feel like anybody else saw. Like, I don't even know how he did it. Like, he was like here, like I feel like his nuts must have swung back or something, like just right, and he just went down like a sack of potatoes and looked me right in the eye. And I had to pretend that I hadn't seen anything, but I had. I'd seen it all. And then there was this little boy on a scooter who just rode past for no reason. He was too young to be alone. He was just like a little screen wipe. And I was so excited I had to go and get a smoothie and calm myself down. I live in Coburg. I like living in Coburg because I'm a big fan of good-natured yelling. And anytime somebody walks into like a greengrocer's in Coburg, somebody will yell something at them like, "Why don't you buy some more tomatoes?" And I'll be like, "Yes, why?" Another mystery for me to solve. I like living in Coburg because my local GP has a neck tattoo that says his own name, which is Richard. I've been trying to get a tattoo on my hand just here for ages, but no tattoo artist will do it. It's like some kind of health and safety thing. Last time I tried to get it done, the tattoo artist was like, "What if you want to become like a lawyer?" It's like, why do you have more faith in me than my own mother? And he was just nice. He was a nice guy. When I was on the tram in Coburg, I saw a man get on with a fully grown lemon tree. That's how we roll in Coburg. I live in a share house. And I hate my housemate because he's an asshole. You would hate him too. He has ear stretches and he plays the acoustic guitar. That's really enough, isn't it? He also lied to me and told me that he didn't get any Christmas presents, even though he did get Christmas presents. He moved my toothbrush a week after he moved in. I hate him. Last week I climbed through the window because I didn't want to talk to him. And he writes his name on his milk, even though it's light milk, and nobody's touching his fucking milk. Okay? every time I walk past his door, I just sprinkle a little bit of water in front of it, just so every time he leaves his room, he steps in water. That's it from me. Thanks, guys.
It's great to see you. Your career's going fine. It's good. You've performed comedy all over the world, haven't you? Places besides here.
Yes, London and Scotland and the UK, really, and yeah, around Australia.
I suppose like if you can be funny all over the world, are we really that different? Is there any reason for the wars that we have? Is there any reason for all this stupid bullshit that goes on all the time?
I don't know that we can solve that today, but sure, there's definitely good reasons for war. Do you reckon if a joke's funny, should it be able to work anywhere? Like you were doing material about Melbourne, should that joke, if you change the context, still work in another city, or? I don't know that it would work in a country where men and women aren't really allowed to talk to each other, but maybe, I think so. I think, funny's funny.
Yeah, no, so do you think everything's going to be okay?
No, we're all in it way over our heads.
It's just not fair.
Well, yeah, but we are very lucky living in Australia. We've got a lot of burgers and...
at the moment... I'm sorry, it's, do you have anything in particular you'd like to promote at the moment? Do you have anything happening in the future?
Yeah, I have a podcast that's about to come out. It's called Fava Beans and a Nice Chianti, and it's about food and popular culture. So that's with Sarah Baggs, and we're really excited about that. Cool. Yeah. And my Twitter account, there's a new one called News to Us, which is a satirical news account. So if you like jokes and the news.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. And finally tonight, do you believe in God?
Only when I'm talking to old Italian women.
Excellent. That's another yes we've got there then. Thank you very much, Nellie, and good to see you. And I'll check out that podcast. I won't. I'm dead by the end. But anyway, thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you.
Nellie White, everybody. Hold on, Nellie. Next up on the show, which I've been slightly distracted by news about an illness, next up is my very good friend and the excellent Melbourne comedian, Miss Lauren Bock, everybody. Thank you.
Nice to... Good, excellent. Hi. How are you going?
A little shaken, I won't lie, but it's fine.
Okay, sure.
Fine.
Sorry,
you've got a Fringe Festival show coming up.
Yeah, I do.
September.
I do. I'm really excited about it. It's called "Is That a Burrito in Your Pocket, or are you just happy you have a burrito?"
That's an excellent name.
Thank you very much.
This is your first ever festival show. Are you at all nervous?
It's my first ever solo show, and yes, that is definitely the question. I've worked with lots of people in the past, so it's really weird, just being me. So I have things like, what should my poster be? And then I only have to ask myself.
And do you have a lot of arguments, or?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a split personality thing going on.
That's great.
We don't get along, me and my other half, yeah. Yeah,
no, so are you at all worried that maybe people, don't necessarily want to hear you speak for an hour?
Yes, that is a fear, yeah.
Because I'm certainly just really grappling with that at the moment.
Okay, right.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. No, completely understand.
I understand you've taught classes on comedy, you've actually... you've taught them yourself to people.
I just had an idea that I think that it wasn't really getting out to people that comedy can kind of be done by anybody as long as you have the right tools. And stand-up comedy, you don't necessarily have to be the next, like Louis C.K. or something. All you have to do is just have a couple of different skills, and you might just enjoy it. And I had people coming along to the workshops that were like academics that had to do presentations, people that were nervous about public speaking because, you know, like start with a joke and that sort of thing. So it was really fun to do. And I mean, I used to be a teacher, so I think that definitely helped as well. I was less of a comedian and more just hand-holding, a lot of that, yeah. But I had a really good time doing it.
Why am I dying and not Peter Hellier?
Well,
I mean, he's had a great run. He's had a great career.
Yeah,
People say
right.
nothing but nice things about him. If Peter Hellier dies, it will be the best thing that happened to his career since Rove 99.
It's a good point.
You know,
His
why
DVD
me?
sales
I
will
haven't
skyrocket.
done anything. You know,
They'll probably have
even if I had any success, you know, like people keep, every 5 seconds I'm reading an article about needing more diversity in comedy. So even if I had succeeded, I'm about as diverse as a fucking cornflake. It still would have meant nothing. It's all meaningless. Who are your idols? Who are your comedy idols?
Not Peter Hellier, if that's what you were getting at. He's a very special man. No, that's fine. No, it's fine. I guess, I mean, I really enjoy Australian comedy. I love Celia Piccola. She's definitely one of my idols
Doing
as
a
well.
lot better than me, too.
Yeah, she is, yeah. In the Comedy Festival just gone, I really loved Louisa Omerlan as well. She's doing really good stuff.
Very good.
Yeah, she's really good. Do you have any
what was her
idols
show called?
as well? It was called What Would Beyonce Do?
Oh, that's very
Yeah,
clever.
Beyonce, another idol of mine. Not necessarily a comedy one, but still.
It's hilarious, though.
Yeah.
Though I'm sure she is.
Do you have any idols?
At the moment, anyone who's making it to tomorrow, frankly, is looking
I'm sorry,
a lot
I didn't
better than
mean
me.
to
Look, I'm sorry.
pry.
I'm sorry. What's the worst gig you've ever had? That's a question.
Was that one that you were emceeing, remember? And
Oh.
you did that thing. Look, maybe it's best we don't talk about it. But I'm not saying that you. I regret going to comedy because of that. But you know what? It takes all sorts. It takes all sorts to make up the world. So.
I also enjoy Maria Bamford a lot.
She's great.
She's very lovely.
Yeah, she's fun. Chris and
Very
Shaw,
lovely.
you know,
Well,
quirky.
Yes, they're both very good. Now, finally, do you believe in God?
I don't know. Can I say that?
Well, to be honest, I don't even mark those ones down.
Okay,
but thank you very much for coming up. Thank you, Lauren Bock. Everyone,
Thanks for having me, Martin.
Lauren
All
Bock.
the best.
Very nice, and we'll be back with something later. Hello everybody, welcome back to About Tonight. I'm Martin Dunlop. The show got off to a bit of a rocky start tonight with my doctor revealing some test results that apparently only have roughly 20 minutes to live, but I'm sure if we get through the rest of the show okay, everything will work out fine. I'm sure it'll all be fine. Could you please put your hands together for my next guest, photographer Emma Matsuda. Thank you for coming in, Emma. It's great to see you. It's very exciting. I don't know many photographers.
Really?
I think you are the only one I know.
So that's why you asked me to be on the show?
Yes.
Awesome.
I needed a photographer for reasons. Thank you. What's your favourite thing to photograph?
I hate that question a lot. I would say maybe just people and nature and stuff. That makes me sound really bad. But I do a lot in post-production, so editing like ordinary things to look extraordinary, which makes me sound like a wanker.
Have you ever taken a picture of a wall?
I have.
You have?
Actually, when I've run out of other things to take photos of,
Cool.
I'll turn
that lane in Melbourne that people have scribbled all over, and you take pictures of that?
to Grave Street.
Yes, yes.
alleyway?
We've got a couple, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm not that touristy.
Okay.
I was born in Melbourne, so yeah.
Now, the photographer is capable of recording life. Do you ever feel that because you're recording life, your own is actually fading, like a negative left in the sun?
No. Sometimes I feel like when I'm not taking photos, that's when I'm fading away because I'm not actively, recording what I see.
That's quite interesting. So you don't, you actually like, if the camera's not rolling, it's not happening, which is what Warren Beatty said about Madonna. You are very much like Madonna, I suppose. What's your favourite photograph that you've ever taken?
That's another question I also hate.
Good.
So
Good. I only want to ask questions that you hate. I brought you on here to torture you and for other reasons.
I'm just going to shamelessly link my website at the end of this program.
Good.
And then you can choose your own photo, Martin.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Is it? What's your least favourite photograph that you've ever taken?
Ones of people that I've been asked to take.
Okay. Okay. Any people in particular?
Is this a trick question? Because I don't think I've taken a photo of you before.
Well, I think there probably is one wandering around there somewhere.
No, don't worry, it's not you.
Good.
Things I'm paid to do.
Good.
Yes, paid work.
Who's your favourite photographer? This is.
It's a name that no one's going to remember, but his name's Philip Lorca de Corsia.
Forgotten it already.
Martin. So Philip Lorca de Corsia.
And what does he do?
He does like really interesting work involving, I won't say the stripper project first, but he went up to a bunch of hookers in LA and asked them how much they would charge for him to take their photo. And they're all like really moody with cool lighting and stuff like that. So yeah, that's one of his projects.
And it takes pictures of sex workers. Excellent. Now the next question is sort of a more of a trick question. Robert Mapplethorpe, Annie Leibovitz and Bill Henson are drowning in the sea. You don't have a life jacket, but you do have a rifle with one bullet. Who do you save from the hell of drowning?
Definitely Bill Henson.
You save him?
I would
he's
save
the one
him.
Closest to your heart?
He is. Next would be Robert Mapplethorpe. I mean, but Annie Leibovitz, I hate her.
Oh,
she does commercial crap.
Yes, well,
no
that is. Does she do? Am I wrong about this, or does she do the babies in flower pots?
Is that? I think that's Sally Mann. Oh no, actually, she does babies with other things, but yeah, I don't know. I googled her the other day just to refresh my memory, and she's done photos of like Kirsten Dunst, I don't know, looking whimsically over her shoulder, and you know, Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, no, very touching. Oh, naked depressed. Miley Cyrus. Who's that? Is that Annie Leibovitz?
It wouldn't be the other two.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Robert Mapplethorpe would know her or want to know her.
Right. So. Well, what was the name of that website again?
My website?
Yes.
myname.com.
EmmaMatsuda.com.
Yes.
Excellent. That's very good. And finally, of course, do you believe in God? I am not an atheist, so can we leave it at that? Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. Sorry, we already had an I don't know, which is fucking useless. But no. Yes, that's.
I'm sorry, my answer's not more controversial than that.
No, that's excellent. We're 2 yeses so far, so things are actually looking up at the moment.
I didn't say yes.
Thank you very much for coming down. You said yes. You said in so many words. You said yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for coming in, Emma. And now my next guest coming in will be Melbourne magician Alex De La Rambelje.
Hello. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Alex.
Yes,
it's excellent to see you. Man with the powers of a witch. Alex, what possessed you to become a magician besides Satan and all his empty promises?
It was Satan and all his empty promises.
Good.
Basically, yeah. I wanted to toy with the powers of darkness.
The nature of reality, the fabric, just pulling at it like a restless child.
Yeah, which was odd because I decided when I was 5, so I had an odd childhood.
Good.
Really.
Good. Yeah. No. Well, that will be the age at which you would start pulling at the thread of things.
Yes.
You know, out of curiosity.
Yeah. Exactly.
As a magician, what's the worst gig you've ever had? I know that's a rote question, but for a magician, I'm really curious.
We do have a lot of good stories when it comes to bad gigs. I have some stories, but they're rather mundane. The best bad gig story belongs to a friend of mine. It was when he made his dove appear and the dove floated up into the well, he didn't float. It's not airborne. It is airborne, but of its own volition. It flew up into the rafters and landed on a little ledge. And to get the dove down, he tried to throw his little latex dove. Have you ever seen how magicians do this really hilarious gag where they produce their dove and then they start to smash it and drop it and stamp on it and the kids laugh and everyone's happy? It's awful. But anyway, he took that latex dove and he tried to tempt his dove down by throwing it up there, but instead of sort of dislodging the dove or falling back down again, the latex dove just very gracefully perched itself right in front of the other dove. And then it would have been fine had the dove not started to hump the latex dove, which is the single greatest magic gone wrong story there is.
The next one, another rote question. Let's face it, I'm no great interviewer. Who's your favourite magician?
My favourite magician is a guy called Darren Brown.
Ah, yes.
You know him?
Yes, he has the power over people's thoughts.
Exactly, yeah. So he takes magic to yet another hackneyed answer. He takes it to the next level. He makes it more than, you know, pedestrian card tricks, and he takes ordinary magic and takes it really to a plane that no other magician does. So he's who I dream about.
Has any magician ever cracked the secret of immortality? It's a rather pressing question, if you could...
Apart from me?
Apart from you, yes.
Yeah, no one else that I know of.
How is it done, usually?
Well, funny you should mention, but we could try a bit of experiment in cracking immortality.
Oh, we'll leave it for the end of the show. Right now, I understand you have a trick of your own that we can give a shot.
Well,
Yes,
it's kind of a warm-up to the immortality cracking.
Yes.
So come down here, take a seat, and we'll practice. So I'm going to try and beef it up. It is a card trick, so it is hard to beef, but we'll do our best. I'd like you to firstly check that all the cards look different.
They certainly do. They are all different cards.
Different cards. You have to pick one, but you have to make sure that I don't influence you. So again, with Darren Brown, he wants to be very he wants you to be skeptical. I want you to be skeptical. I don't want you to let me cheat. Don't just indulge my cheating.
Right.
So just pick one out, anyone, have a good think about it, and no, make it harder for me. Make it harder for me. Okay. Show the card to the folks at home. I will not look at the card or the monitors. Okay. Everybody remember the card. Put the card back in the middle for me. Okay, so here's where we enter the mundane, boring reality of magic, where every single card trick ends up in the same place.
Which card did I pick?
That's all right. They'll know.
Go.
When we see it again, they'll shout out, "That's your card," won't they?
I'm sorry, I haven't slept.
Good, that's okay. So we'll give the cards another quick shuffle. We're going to try and find your card, and all the folks in the room are going to shout out, "That's your card." Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay, it's going to be mind-blowing, so make sure that you're ready to have your mind blown. On 3, 1, 2, 3, yes! Good catch. And it falls down the side of the couch, and it is revealed in a stunning gasp from the audience. Was that it? Okay. Was the card black? Yes. Yeah. Yes. All right. Good start. Now, Martin, here's where you swoop in and save the day. So hold out your hand for me. What I'm going to do is I'll leave the 7 of clubs on your hand. What was the card that he picked?
I think it was the 5 of clubs.
Okay, 5 of clubs. So it wasn't the 7, but we were close. The 5 of clubs, like Lucifer, summons from the briny darkness. There it is. That bugger. What? Okay, here's where Martin finishes off the trick like a star. The 5 of spades. Yay!
That's the card.
It was spades. It's okay. It's guaranteed to work. So here's the time where you sign your card and you take this to the proverbial next level by making this more impossible.
So,
even though impossibility is a constant.
Initial?
Yeah, initial, perfect.
Cool.
Great. So that's definitely, you'll recognise that squiggle if you see it again?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
What we'll do is we don't need the pen, we just need your card and we need the rest of the cards, okay? So I'm going to slide your card into the middle of the pack. So, watch that card as it goes right into the middle of the pack. Did you see it jump to the top and change into the 2? Because it did. You don't buy it. Okay, hold out both hands for me, Martin. Okay, cover the cards. Do not let them go. One card is coming out of the pack. Tell everybody here honestly where this card is coming from. Don't just make it up for me.
The top?
Honestly, it's coming from the top.
Coming from the top of the deck.
Okay.
Yes.
So not only does your squiggle, right, and your card jump to the top of the pack, but if you squeeze these cards, they should all disappear. So don't let them go. 1, 2, 3, squeeze. Squeeze tight, 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 tight. Now, tell everybody honestly, can you feel them? Like, do not lie to make them look good.
I can feel the cards.
Like, that's not you just acting. We didn't set this up.
No,
you can feel them. Would it
is
impress you if they disappeared?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, squeeze! And they've gone. Have they gone?
No, they're still there.
Okay. Well, lift up your hand and look at the cards. Just go through them one more time. Show them to everyone.
Yeah. You're going to help me live forever, Alex.
Happy to serve.
Thank you. Do you believe in God, by the way?
My act is called Gentleman of Deceit, and our acronym is God, and I do believe in us.
Yes, it's another yes. So
Yes.
I'll sort that out later. Thank you for coming in, everybody. More stuff will be up next. I'm haunted by things I haven't done. My sins of action are small and shitty. Infidelity, dishonesty, jealousy, nothing particularly impressive. but the things that I've failed to do gnaw at me. When I was 19 years old, I was wandering back from a night out when I noticed a running car half-mounted on a curb. Both the front and rear passenger doors were hanging open. Two guys were standing on the sidewalk, wide-eyed, edgy and apprehensive. On the ground lay a girl, maybe my age, not moving. Noticing my interest, the more bulky of the pair took offence. "Keep fucking walking, mate," he spat. One chubby finger pointed straight at my hooded frame. Taking his advice, I ducked my head and moved on. Nothing showed up in the news over the next week, but my head filled in the gaps with unpleasant colour and detail. Years later, I was driving my girlfriend at the time home from her work bartending in a city nightclub. We were cruising through the deserted factory area of the western suburbs. Out of the darkness, a shape clad in white emerged. It was this visibly distressed middle-aged woman wrapped head to toe in bedsheets, roaring Bible verses into the night. I brought the car to a halt, transfixed by God's worst prophet bringing the good news to empty warehouses everywhere. "We have to help her," my girlfriend at the time begged. She was a more proactive, compassionate person than me, the kind of person who talks to beggars and gets the overdosing boy on the tram a bottle of water. I didn't want to help her. I was content to watch without interacting, perhaps the hallmark of a writer, almost certainly the hallmark of an arsehole. "We have to help her," she repeated. "If you stop, you have to help. You can't just look." Fortunately, at this point, crazy Footscray Moses took the opportunity to veer off into a 24-hour servo, and I drove off comfortable in the hope that whoever was manning the BP was a better man than me. The core of my guilt was earlier, though, in childhood. When I was a young kid, we didn't go on summer holidays. Mum and Dad worked through the summer, and we'd go to holiday program with all the other kids whose parents were too busy. But we would go on autumn and winter holidays, always to the countryside, never the beach. An anathema to a kid born and raised in the inner city. Even now, years later, my opinion of rural areas can be summed up in the words cold, wet and sheep. This one year, I might have been about 5 or so, we were staying at a farmhouse in Timboon out in Victoria's west, and Dad decided to take us on a bushwalk. He'd picked a gold mining region up in the mountains somewhere. Not one of the successful gold mining regions, more one of the regions where foreigners from Cornwall had hacked futile holes in the side of a hill until giving up and becoming bakers in Coburg. The mountains were wet by the time we got there, green and damp, moss covering every conceivable surface. We tramped up the mountain, the smell of saturated, rotting wood everywhere, fog clinging to the gullies. At one point we came to an open mine. To my eyes it was a giant black hole to nowhere, barred by a wooden barrier labelled "Keep Out, Unsafe." In front of the barrier stood a man and a boy, maybe 12. The boy was tying his shoelaces, the man was staring into the mine. My dad offered them a curt "G'day" and continued walking. The man didn't respond. As I watched, he grasped his son gently by the shoulder, ducked under the barrier, and led him into the dark. A few minutes later, I was starting to freak out. I begged my dad to go back and check on the man and his son, and when he refused and kept walking, I started to cry. Dad took this to mean I was becoming hysterical and made me quiet by slapping me a couple of times. We finished the walk in silence and went home the next day. For the next week, I had nightmares, the same nightmare over and over. The man ducking under the barrier and then feeling the sensation of falling endlessly into darkness. Every time I woke in terror, sweating and wet-eyed. Some days later, Dad was watching the news. Amidst Rwanda and Somalia, the only things I can remember from the news back then, a picture flashed up on the screen. It was the man from the park. He and his son had been found by searchers after they'd been reported missing in the last week. They'd been found dead in separate mine shafts deep in the mountain. Searchers said they must have gotten lost while investigating the mine, and after the dad had fallen, the son had tried to go for help, but had gotten more lost and fallen himself. I screamed for hours. That year we went on holidays for summer. I've never Googled the accident. I don't want to make it more real than it is in my head. I like it where it is, lost in fuzzy memory, just some bad dream I had as a child. When I don't help people, I dream of falling. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to About Tonight. My name's Martin Dunlop. I'm dying very shortly, and I'm cool with this. Thank you all for tuning in. We've had a wonderful episode. Is there anything that you guys want to plug again? Anything? Emma, your website again?
So it's emmamatsuda.com.
emmamatsuda.com. That's where you can find photographs and also contact her for work, which is something that you have to worry about now. But I don't have to worry about that anymore. It's actually incredibly relaxing. Dr. French Stewart, is there anything you'd particularly like to plug?
Well, obviously, I run a medical practice, so please come down to that if you have any ailments. I'm also part of an improv group.
Oh!
Yeah, we're called Encephalite This.
Hey!
It's mainly sketches about medicine. We struggle with any suggestions that aren't medical suggestions. But so please, if you do come down, yell out a disease or something like that.
I do love a good doctor sketch. It really is one of the freshest comedy premises. Somebody goes into a doctor and with an ailment, and then the doctor can't help them, and then they die inevitably. Really.
Yeah, like you.
Yes. Lauren, is there anything apart from, of course, your Fringe Festival show?
Yep, my Melbourne Fringe show, which is happening the 16th to the 20th of September at the Courthouse, and it's called "Is That a Burrito in Your Pocket? Are you happy you have a burrito?" And I'm on the internet. Yeah.
That's very good.
Thank you.
I had a web series called Repost. Don't need to worry about that anymore. It's not worth plugging. I had a Twitter thing. It was Martin Dunlop 1. Doesn't matter anymore. I only ever went on it when I was drunk. I'm really just, really. This is perfect, really. That it's happening on television. I feel like one of those disturbed 1970s news anchors, just going out to a crowd of millions. And what about you, Simon? We didn't even reference what you're supposed to be.
And I have a magic show coming up at the Melbourne Magic Festival called Make Your Parents Disappear. Again, playing from the 5th to the 11th of July.
I do feel as though I could have done more in that situation that just happened. I apologise for that.
You have been watching About Tonight. Thank you to our guests Emma Matsuda, Alex De La Rambelje, Adam Knox, Lauren Bock and Nellie White, and of course Simon Patrick Cantwell. Thank you very much for watching. You can follow us on Facebook and on Twitter, and we'll be back next week at Monday 9:30 with a different host. Good night.